We are awaiting the release of a tape on a plane, Flight 97, hitting the Pentagon on 9/11. There was a lawsuit filed under the Freedom of Information Act. Brett Baer is standing by live, and he's got the latest on this. Brett?
Okay, Juliet, Mike, we understand we have obtained the tape, and we are in the process of queuing that up. This is the end of the one angle of the plane, and maybe we can recue that, control room. This is the best angle, the closest angle to the Pentagon. This is from the closer security camera in the parking lot. And I tell you what, let's see if we can rewind it a bit.
Okay, here,
this is the
Brett,
one.
This is the original one we've seen for
yeah, we've seen this
now.
still many times, and you will see another angle from this very camera. But as we rewind that tape, you can see the nose cone of the plane. If you watch here closely on the right side of your screen, you will see the nose cone from this security camera. And we might have to slow it down even more. It is one still that I have seen very clearly on the nose cone from this camera angle. That's the closest we get to American Airlines Flight 77 actually seeing the plane. You can see the glare on the tape there. It comes in right about that spot, and we'll single that out and get it for you. The other angle on the other tape is the angle that we've seen before, which is that pulled back security camera, and it's roughly the same. You see a flash, you see a blur, and then you see the explosion at the Pentagon. What is tough to see here is that this is a security camera that takes about a frame every half second or so, and you can't really get a clear glimpse of the plane from either of these angles. Judge
Napolitano has rejoined us, and Judge, we're all watching this at the same time, and all of us, and including I think a lot of the audience members, are kind of thinking, well, it doesn't look that much different from the original that we saw many years ago. Why would they have been holding this back?
You know, sometimes people in government are a little too protective of the government, and they forget that we all have the right to know what the government's doing. Of course, we have hindsight, and we can now say, well, why didn't we have this 4.5 years ago? We should have, and that's what a judge did rule when the judge ordered that these be released.
Okay, now, Brett, that's what you're working on now, is try to get that one frame where you see the cone, the nose cone?
Yeah, if you take it back and you go frame by frame, now this is the other angle. Of course, we've seen these stills before. If you go frame by frame on the closer camera, you can see the nose cone. I've seen it on the frame. But again, overall, this is underwhelming for somebody who watches this, because we've seen this angle before, just haven't seen this many frames of it. So for the conspiracy theorists out there, there are probably going to be people saying this doesn't prove anything. But as we get the frame that shows the nose cone, we'll get it to you and put it on the air.
Right, Brett, where are we rolling this? Are we rolling this out of D.C.?
Out of D.C., yeah.
Out of D.C., okay, so maybe when we go back to the still or something, our technician can actually just cue it up physically on the tape machine to that frame, and then we'll take that frame. But again, you're right, Judge. I mean, the conspiracy theorists are going to wonder what that big white glare is on the right.
This is going to cause more conspiracies.
Dayside at foxnews.com. I'm sure we've already received a few, and hopefully
Brett has better eyes than all of us, and he's seen what we have not yet seen.
Well, I'll tell you, as we go frame by frame, Judge, you'll see in the first frame one piece of the nose cone. First, you see a little piece of dirt fly up. It appears that the plane hits before the Pentagon, and then you'll see just one frame, a piece of the nose cone. Then you'll see that blur, that big white blur that you just saw there, and then the explosion. So We'll go frame by frame. We'll get it to you here momentarily.
Brett, can you? I've never really asked this question. Does the plane slightly hit the ground first?
That's what most people here believe, is that it struck the ground first as it skidded into the Pentagon. Now, it's important to remember that this plane, they say the fuselage went all the way through 3 rings of the Pentagon. There are 5 rings here. It went all the way through to the C ring, and as you looked at the hole it created, it was a large hole that went through 3 rings. You remember seeing the outside shots of all of the crumbling floors, but inside the hole was actually very the size of the actual fuselage of American Flight 77. So Again, we've said this from the beginning. This is a security camera. It's not
Right.
great video, and we've been saying it really since we saw it first earlier today.
Brett Baer, thanks very much. We appreciate it. And we will obviously have continuing coverage right here on Fox News Channel all throughout the day on the release of this video.
Going to take a break here real quickly, and we'll get reorganized and come right back. Don't go away.